clear storytelling with a structure that supports it is as important as any character that you create. Even in just 10 minutes, an audience needs to have an emotional attachment to some person, place, or thing. But that's difficult if you are too random or obtuse. In the traditional structure, which is having a clear beginning, middle, and end, the conflict of the play or central dramatic question will be answered in the course of the play. Now, that question, dramatic question, should be positioned somewhere around that first line of the play. So that first page. In Glass Menagerie, which is not a 10-minute play, but a full-length play, there's still the dramatic question of, will Tom escape the painful memories of his past? So you have to ask yourself, what dramatic question am I setting up? And is that going to be that first line of dialogue, or at least in that first page of your 10-minute play? You also want to think about dropping the audience closer to the middle. And by that we mean drop us into the conflict. So what traditionally in a full-length play would be the middle is kind of going to be your beginning for a 10-minute play in terms of the dramatic tension that is created. So you're wanting to get right into the action and start the play with the circumstances heightened. You're not building up to that. You're already there. But in traditional structure, you still have a beginning, middle, and end. Your beginning of a 10-minute play, again, just has heightened action. So if we were going to break this down, page 1 to 2 of your script, you are establishing the world that we're in, you're setting up the characters, and you're revealing what's at stake for them. So it's life or death. What will happen to them if they don't get what they want, if they don't get what they need? It has to be dramatic enough for your character to care about it, and the stakes need to be high enough for your audience to care about it. By the end of page 2, you want to make absolutely clear what the conflict is. By page 2 to 3, you want to illuminate that central conflict. There should be that dramatic question that has an answer by the play's end. By page 3 to 9, or in pages 3 to 9, you're complicating the story in such a way that the audience has no idea how the conclusion will turn out. You have to keep your audience guessing. Keep that dramatic suspense. And even if it's a comedy, you still have that suspense of what is going to happen next. And you want to do this, you want to set up some complications at least 2 to 3 times in the 3 to 9 pages of your play. Okay, so that's at least three complications. That you can look at that as twists if you want, or a turning point, 3 different turning points. And then your last page of your script should be the resolution of the conflict and restoration of a balanced world for the central character. It could be an unhappy ending. It doesn't always have to be a happy ending. And then I am showing you some slides of other format templates that I've learned about.
The 6-part template is a structure where you begin with setting the scene. Following that, you will introduce the character's want, you will introduce the obstacle, and you will introduce a disaster. Following that, you let the characters react, and then you resolve the story. For the idea template, you have a character that has an idea. There is resistance from another character that you introduce. That character is character B. Why don't they like the idea? Then there's the resistance that ceases from character B. So what happens that character B changes their mind and decides to go ahead? Together, character A and B act on the idea. What does this look like? Something, however, complicates this idea. Could it be a third character? Or something they didn't expect? Now they have to deal with what has happened How do they feel about this? How do they address what they just went through? And finally, towards your ending, the characters have to decide where to go from here. The front loader template starts the play with a monologue. Character A in this monologue reveals backstory, other characters perhaps, and most importantly, a secret. Character A approaches character B with this secret. Let character B react. Now, if they react negatively, poorly, that creates an obstacle for character A. But if character B reacts favorably, then you need to find another obstacle to put in their way. So something unexpected must happen to create that obstacle. Let the characters react to that event, that unexpected event, and then you'll have your ending. This final template I saved for last, in case this is what you want to use when writing your 10-minute play for this class, especially if this is the first play you've ever written. As you see, it is pretty basic. You introduce a character who has an objective. He or she wants something, but make sure that something is very specific and that he or she will not survive without it. You want the stakes to be high. So you introduce an obstacle that is keeping this character from getting what he or she wants. Somehow that obstacle is removed after a few complications, and finally your character either gets what he or she wants or doesn't. But either way, that character must have changed from the beginning of your story to the end of your story. And now that you've been set up with all the different templates you can use to get started with writing your 10-minute play, we'll go over format. And then if you're struggling with an idea, don't worry, I'll have a few prompts for you. I'm excited to see what you all write.